Hello and welcome to the channel. In tonight's episode, I am in the garden. Yesterday, I dug up a couple of pots in the front yard. I've got about 5 or so pots in the front yard, and I dug them up, refreshed them, put some perennial flower seeds in them. And tonight, I'm going to quickly put those bulbs, at least a few of them, in the back garden so that I can have flower bulbs to grow spring flowers in the back and in the cut flower. And I don't know about the memorial garden because let me show you what's going on over there. It is about to rain and the wind is very high, and the wind has done this. It has blown the castor bean plant down again. I think I showed you all in a previous video how the plant was like right in here. Well, it's leaning right in there yet again. So I can't be out here long, so let's plant some flower bulbs so that we can have some spring flowers. I have a few flowers growing in this pot. I believe it's calendula. I did plant some calendula. I planted a few things over the end of summer. I also have a lettuce, a Merlot lettuce that jumped to the pot because I didn't harvest those seeds off of that plant when I was supposed to. And so it's a volunteer. Now I, as I mentioned, harvested some flower bulbs from the front of my house, and I don't know what all of them are. I just harvested these earlier this evening. These, I believe, are daffodils. These won't be going in here. But I think these are hyacinths and something else. I'm not quite sure. But they came from the front of my house in a pot that my niece gave me when I first moved in. So I'm going to place them along with some crocus that I showed you all probably about almost a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I'm also going to put some crocus in here as well. So let's get to planting. I hope you all can hear me and I hope you all can see. Before I get started, I'm going to move the mulch back, trying not to harm anything that's in the pot that's already growing. It's been raining here, so the soil is fairly moist. I don't want to disrupt this beautiful lettuce, this Merlot lettuce that has volunteered. So I'm just going to move the mulch back. And then I'm going to put some fertilizer, some granular fertilizer in this container. I haven't fertilized it in a while. I honestly don't remember when the last time I fertilized this pot, but it's going to get some fertilizer today. So just move the mulch back. I accidentally kicked some out onto the patio, but I'll get that up. And I have my standard old fertilizer here, my regular mixture of azomite rock dust, blood meal, bone meal, and an all-purpose fertilizer that I picked up at Walmart that was like $3, and some Osmocote. So, and the only reason why I'm putting the blood meal, bone meal is because I do have this lettuce, and I want to make sure that the lettuce does get some nutrients. I let the lettuce go to seed so that I can harvest these seeds. I am going to harvest these seeds this time around. So I'm just taking my fingers and I'm just moving the soil just a tiny bit, about maybe 2 inches, inch and a half. And I'm just working the fertilizer into the top inch, maybe inch and a half of soil, just so that this topsoil is fluffy and it has fertilizer. So since I don't know what type of bulbs these are, I think they're hyacinth, but don't hold me to that. I'm just going to place them sporadically in the container, making sure that I try not to drop anything. Hope you all can see the bulbs. They're very tiny. They were happily hanging out in that pot of soil that was barely getting any water. Oh my goodness, I've been really bad about taking care of a few things this year, but I am going to do better in my 2025 garden. I have been trying to create gardens as well as grow for eating, and some things have definitely suffered. But now that I have, for the most part, my garden set to where I want it to be. There are going to be a few changes, but for the most part, it is what I want it to be. I'll be able to focus now on taking care of things the way I really need to take care of things. Now, these are really tiny, so I'm just going to put them just a little bit below the surface, not a lot. I don't even know what that is. It looks like a lemon seed. I'm going to put it in there anyway, just in case. It's going in there anyway. Now, I've already put 6 in here so far. And I'm going to put 3 more over here, and then I'll go to another container and I'll add some over there. Now, I know I said I wanted to put some crocus in here. I still do. So I did leave some room for crocus. It doesn't look like it, but I did. They don't need a lot of space. I'm trying not to let the wind blow these babies and I lose them. So I'm just going to set it down right there. And I lost a leaf. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to shove it over here and let it rot down just like that. Now I'm going to move these off over here as I don't want the wind to take them away. And I'm going to get the crocus bulbs. The crocus bulbs are really small. Let me show you all. And I am going to, let's take a look at what they say, how to plant them. They're not planted all that deep. Okay. Now we're going to open them up. They say dig the hole, plant them, cover it up, and water it. That's what it says. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I'm going to place that back in the bag. And I may need to use this to open up the bag. There we go. Just trying to open the bag up a little bit. Trying not to lose anything. Now, it looks like, yeah, these are trying to come awake inside the bag. So hold on one second. Let me open them up and I'll show you what I'm talking about. These are waking up. No, it's not waking up. I thought it was, but it's not. There we go. So I'm gonna move the mulch back over, and I'm gonna place this baby right over in the corner, just like that. And I'm gonna show you in just a second what I did. I took the flat side and planted it down, just like that. Hope you guys can see. I'm gonna place one right here, just making a hole, pressing it in, covering it up, just like that. So that's all I'm doing is I'm out here before it rains and I am trying to plant some perpetual flower bulbs, getting them in the garden. That way it's not something that I need to really worry about. When the spring rolls around, they will pop up and they will be gorgeous. Now what's in here, these are not, I'm sorry, I said perpetual, perennial. These are not perennial. These will die off and I'll have to sow the seed and replant them. And that's fine. I plant perennials and annuals in my garden to make sure I have all around color. I'm going to plant a couple more over here off to the side. Let's move the mulch back, making sure I keep the soil covered up. Mulch has a multi-purpose use. Keeps your soil from drying out, keeps weeds from taking over, and if a weed does grow, it can be pulled out pretty easy without much fuss. So I'm just going to move the mulch over, like I said, and I'm going to place a small hole, butt side down, press it in, small hole, butt side down, press it in, and I'm going to put one more right here just for good measure. Small hole, butt side down, press it in. And that's all there is to it, to planting your spring flowers. I'm just going to give it a little smoosh, make sure everything is seated in quite nicely. The mulch is in place. The bulbs aren't going anywhere. And I'm going to do this very same process to the very same pot on the opposite side of the patio. And that's that, family. That is planting flower bulbs. So let me go over here and plant some more. Before I completely lose light, I have a couple of clematises over in the tire garden. This is one of them, and it's looking pretty good as far as its growth. It's grown a lot this year. It's taken a few kicks, but that's what happens sometimes in the garden. Not everything is going to survive 100-degree weather, but for the most part, it is looking pretty good, so I cannot complain. Now, I do need to add a little more soil to it, but I don't want to right this minute. I don't want to mess with it too much, but I do want to add a couple of bulbs to it. Um, Once it gets really cold and I can visibly see the tops are dying back, then what I will do is I will add some mulch to my clematis. But for right now, I'm just going to move it out of the way and add just a few bulbs along the front here because I feel like that's what's needed. And in all honesty, it looks like it could use not only some more soil but some compost. I wasn't going to add any right now, but just for the sake of it, I have it right here. I'm going to add just a little bit of spent soil. So let me grab that. I have been pulling some pots out of the garden, things that have died back, and I've got some spent soil in this pot. So I'm just going to mix this soil up because I've been dumping a couple of pots together. So I want to just kind of mix this soil up with my hand. So I'm just mixing it up. Some of it's dry, some of it's moist. Just want to give it a little mix up. I'm just going to put a little bit of it right here for right now along the front. I don't want to hurt my clematis. They're a little bit finicky, so just a little bit for right now. And once it begins to die back and it's visibly died down, then I will add a tiny bit more soil to this pot and top it up with some mulch and let it sit in for the winter. So a little bit of granular fertilizer. And I'm just going to toss that in to that beautiful soft soil that I just added in there. Now I do have a bulb. I don't know what it is. I took this from the front of the house. So I'm going to just put it right here in the front, just like that. And then I have over here, I took these bulbs from the back garden. I believe these are daffodils. I'm going to put one in here and one in the pot opposite this one because I do have a pot over there. So I'm going to move this over to the corner right in here, and I'm going to put this daffodil bulb right down there. It's got a root on it, so I don't want to smush it too hard. And around this pot out, I have some allium. These are, I think they're drumstick allium. That's what I'm used to calling them. I don't have my reading glasses on, y'all. Can y'all see that? That's what it is. So, that's the proper name. They're beautiful. So I'm gonna put these in here. They can grow to be, I want to say, well, I can't see y'all. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Oh, we gonna just bypass all that. And let's see, what does it say? Okay, dig a hole, butt side down, water it in. Okay. So they're very small little bulbs. I need to open this bag up. Let's see if I can open it without going to get a tool. Yep, I can open it without getting a tool. Okay, excuse me. It is windy and I've got the sniffles, so I do apologize. So what I'm going to do is you plant sharp side up, pointy side up, butt side down, and I'm just going to put a few in and around, making sure I've got butt side down. There we go. I'm going to stick them in and around, trying not to hurt my clematis. Cover it up. I have 20 bulbs, so I'm going to spread these around. As I mentioned, I think I mentioned it, they're very beautiful plants, flowers. Love to see them. And so I'm putting just a couple right here. The soil is soft. I'm just going to press them in and trying to make sure that I've got butt side down. Apologies right now for my neighbor's dog. I guess they just let him out and he hears me, so he's over there talking. All right, so just a couple in here. I put 3 in the center. I'm going to put 3 in the side over here, and then I'm going to put 3 over on the right hand side. Just pressing them in. I don't remember if I put any over here or not. I don't think I did, but I'm going to put 3 over here. I hope I didn't. I can't remember. That dog just threw me off with all the barking. Just like that. Putting them in the triangle formation. And I know I put I know what I put over here. I put a daffodil over there. So I put 3 here, 3 here, 3 there. And you don't have to worry about, excuse me, y'all, the plane is flying overhead. Give me just a second. No, that was a helicopter. When you have a lasagna method when it comes to bulbs, you can plant them over the top of each other. They will move themselves out of the way. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to plant a whole lot in the front because I do plan on putting some nasturtium seeds in this container as well. So I'm not going to put any more in here. I'm just going to move the mulch back over, trying not to hurt my clematis because the vines are very sensitive. So I'm going to move it like that. I will be putting more mulch, but for right now I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go to the pot adjacent this one or on the opposite side and put the rest of these bulbs over there. This is the last container I am going to pot up tonight. Now this has zinnias in it, the giant magenta zinnias, which I love the look of. They're so very pretty. It also have a clematis. This clematis has died back. I'm hoping it has died back and it has not died completely. I don't think it has. It looks like it has died back. I will be cutting this one since it has died back. There are 2 different varieties, so I'm going to leave it, but I am going to cut all the top growth off and cut it back. And then I will just leave it for the winter. The roots should be just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move, actually I'm going to leave the mulch around these zinnias. I'm just going to move the mulch from around here. I'm not going to touch my clematis, which is right there, but I am going to move this mulch from over here to try. I'm already messing up. I'm touching that zinnia. It's beginning to rain. It's windy. I do apologize. Okay, so I've got a little bit of soil in here. Let me get that soil. The rest of it, I should say. And I'm just going to dump it here and here. Just like that. Just to cover the roots of that clematis so that it can be nice and tucked in for the winter. Just like that. Okay. I have a little bit of fertilizer left. So I'm going to fertilize. Just like that. The rest of that in there. I like to clean as I go, so I'm putting my things away. I'm just going to take this and mush it in the first 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches of soil, not deep. I don't want to harm my clematis. I don't want to mess with my zinnias. So I'm going to take this daffodil bulb and I'm going to put it back here. It's a pretty big daffodil, So I'm just going to place it in there like that and cover it over. There we go, just like that. You all probably didn't see it, but there it is. It's right here. And I'll be taking this down. Let me do it now. I was using this to keep some of the sun off of that clematis, but it's already died back. So I'm just going to take it away. Okay, now the allium bulbs. I'm just going to place a few of them in here, like so. And I may go and put a few more in the other pot. This one is a little tricky. Let's see, where's the butt? Butt's over here. So I'm just going to place them just like that, butt side down, a little bit close together so that when they pop up, they look really pretty. Just like that, like a little triangle. I hope you all can see. I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting this right. There we go. Butt side down. And this soil is nice and soft. There we go. Butt side down. And I'm just going to cover that up. And I will be getting some more mulch and adding to these containers so that my clematis is nice and warm in the winter. And I'm just going to cover it up with this little bit of mulch for right now so that I can get out of the wind. Goodness. I got to get back in the house, y'all. Woo! This wind is ridiculous. I'm just going to give it a little pat, try to seat it in because the wind is blowing it everywhere. I did kind of knock my zinnia down a little bit. I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm going to leave this area right here for my spring bulbs, my nasturtiums, because I want nasturtiums in here as well. So that is it for me today, everybody. Planting some beautiful allium bulbs. I do have about, let's see, six more. I may put a few in and around somewhere, not quite sure where exactly because these can get really tall. I may put these over in, I'm going to put these over in the cut flower garden. So let's go do that real quick. Before I go over to the cut flower garden, this is my tire garden where I have a bunch of different varieties of zinnias. Now I have some fuchsia, if I can find them, some giant fuchsia zinnias over here. I've got some flower heads that I'm going to take off. And I'm going to take these over to the cut flower garden and I am going to sow some flower heads. I'm actually going to drop some of them also in this container over here because I mean, why not? Love me some zinnias. I'm just going to let the seeds fall in the soil. You all cannot see what I'm doing, I don't think. I do apologize. But I'm just gathering some zinnia seeds. So let's go to the cut flower garden. And here are the zinnia seeds. So let's go over there and let's sow some seeds and some bulbs. This is my file cabinet flower bed and it has amaranth in it. It's dying back. All I do is just take seeds and sow seeds. I'm going to leave these in here. I'm just going to leave them. I was going to take them out. This is like a catch crop because the amaranth has been eaten by the bugs, the worms. So I'm just going to place these butt side down just like I did over in the other areas of the garden. I'm going to loosen up that soil. This soil seems kind of thick. So I'm just going to do this like this. Butt side down. Make a little triangle. Cover them up. And same over here on this side. So I do love to see my alliums. So butt side down, and I hope you all can see. Making sure I'm putting them in correctly, butt side down. And last one, butt side down, and cover them back up and give them a little push down. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this flower head and I am just going to pinch it and pull it apart and just spread these seeds all in here. This is how easy it is to spread your seeds. And I'm going to take the soil and just do like this, smush it around and spread those seeds. And if I knock a few things over, that's fine. These are annuals that are in here. The amaranth, there's annuals, and so they're not going to last the winter. Now, what I will do is I will come in here. Oh, that's a big old rock. I will come in here and I will put a little more soil and a little mulch on top of here. Let them sit in, but I'm going to leave them just like this, just like nature would do. The seeds fall on the soil. They get pushed down by rain and leaves and things of that nature. And when they're ready in spring, they will come up. And that's how easy it is to sow spring flower seeds. And I hope you all saw everything that I was doing and you didn't see the back of my head. So that's all I'm doing tonight, everybody. I'm losing light and the dog is barking. The wind is blowing. I hope you all can hear me. So thanks again for watching me sow some flower seeds and some bulbs for the spring. I hope you like this video. If you like the video, do me a favor, hit that like button, leave me a comment, share the video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning back to the channel, welcome back. I hope to see you again in the next video. So until then, I hope you all have a great night, great day, great evening, great morning whenever you see this. And I hope to see you either in my kitchen or my food forest real soon. Now, I have got to get in the house because it is chilly, my nose is running, and the wind is blowing. So until then, bye for now.